Salutations. I'm standing here with Peter Maxwell Slattery. We're doing this live, all right? We have met in person at the ECETI ranch, all right? Something I wanted to address real quick is Pete has said some absolutely incredible things concerning the Pleiadians and also the Aboriginal ancestors, all right? When addressing this, I kind of bringing this up because I took a lot of heat for mentioning melanin all the time, but nonetheless, because of that, now many people of all cultures are coming forward to me saying they've experienced black extraterrestrials or some type of contact of that nature, or black experiencers stepping forward. So that's big, okay? That's much broader than me or him or anything, and what that is us starting to communicate across the cultures about the contact phenomenon, all right? That's important. That's the whole reason I was talking about it and how that needs to be addressed from a multicultural perspective. But I wanted to let Pete go into what he knows about the ancestors and some knowledge that's about to be revealed through evidence, and it really blew me away, but it's exciting.
And I think it's important that you've brought it up, because a lot of people it's just crazy, because there's so many different colours of different races out there and backgrounds that if there's still racism here or people can't come forward about it, how the hell are we meant to go on have contact on a interplanetary level, from a civilization standpoint? So, if we can't even get along with each other, how the hell are we going to get on with other cultures as well, as we've talked about? With that said, I've had experiences with melanin dominant beings, mainly in Sirius. There are a couple of Pleiadians as well, which I've talked to you about as well. Now, I think it's very important. You see the shows I've done with Ulukai Brendan Murray, King of the Raven Tribe in Australia. Also Stephen and Evan Strong's work, which is at ForgottenOrigin.com. They didn't want to go to the star connection, but they went to a lot of what we call the Aboriginal people. We call them the original people. And why that is there's been remains found all around the earth of the original people from Australia, so that they date back, from what we surmise, I especially surmise, more than 40,000 years, and it actually may go back to 400,000 years, but I won't tell you where I got the sources. But they're scientists, and they're getting to the point where they can probably prove that beyond a reasonable doubt. Especially, there's been original people found in Japan that were there before the Japanese, in India, in Africa, before the beings that are there as well. So, if we cut to this quick, now some of the golden Tutankhamun's tomb in Egypt comes from Australia, from Ballarat, and I thought, how the hell did they work that out? But scientists have found that gold from all areas in the world gives off a certain vibration. The two pharaohs came to Australia from Egypt. We're not sure how long ago, because of this big megalithic structure called the Gosford glyphs.
One more time.
The Gosford glyphs. So people can go check out the Gosford glyphs in Australia. There's two walls. Two of them are Egyptian, and one's telling the Pleiadian story, which is different rock from a far off area. It's got UFOs on it. It talks about the Pleiadians coming here to genetically modify one of the type of humanoid beings that was here, so they could incarnate in that being, which is the original person, the original people. And what are they? They're melanin dominant. And people want to have a go about this. So the Pleiadian is specifically genetically modified a certain being to create their original person. I'm just using the Aboriginal word, so because if people aren't used to hearing original person, they understand what I'm saying. So also, we are a mixture of the Star Nations, whether we're white, whatever colour, but what they're finding out is that they surmised from a few tests. I think Stephen Strong tested, he's a white fellow like me, tested his genes or whatever, a 3 or 4% original person. So he's part Aboriginal. We all are, I think, when we come down to it, from what we're looking at from the evidence right now. So I think it's something that needs to be addressed, and thank you for what you're doing. That's why I've backed you up, because I've experienced melanin dominant beings and nobody wants to freaking talk about it. What put me in tears was talking to other researchers. There's been black melanin dominant people experiences that haven't come forward because you're either meant to be white, or the beings they've seen haven't been what everyone else reports. I know what it's like when you can't talk to people about what you're experiencing, and I feel sorry for those people, because they've gone through a hard time and probably think they're nuts. So I just had to put that in.
Thank you, Pete. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, man. I'll tell you what, everybody, to take that in, all right? This is what's being showed by documentation now that's 10,000 years old. And it doesn't matter if the first melanin dominant people came out of Australia or Africa. What this is showing, it started in Australia, all right? But still, nonetheless, you're dealing with original people that are black, melanin dominant, and you're dealing with them being seeded from the Pleiades. So that means the Pleiades, all right, is filled with black people as well that we never hear about. That means that is the image that we have going here. That's what the facts are showing. And didn't you say something, I don't know if we can talk about this, but you said something about there's supposed to be a picture of a stone that has the original Pleiadians on there?
Yeah, that should be revealed sometime soon, I think, by the Strongs. There's all that stuff around a certain area which I can't name at the moment,
cool.
But I'm sure that that's soon to be revealed, and it's a glyph of them. So look, from my experience, I've seen one of the group of the Pleiadians that I've met up with are multicultural in terms of some are black, some are Asian looking, some are white. There's actually more than that, and even some of them are like greys, but sort of look similar to that. There are many different types, and that's because in that time and space they've got past wars, got past division, and they've all come together, and it's a multicultural society.
Yes.
And it's because of all the and also then you've got blacks in this area. You've got Asian looking people also in Orion as well. We've got a bit of wind here, so there's so there's, you know, it's very multicultural. It's not, you know, it's not all things like you've said, like Fabio.
Yeah.
But there is that sort of aspect as well. But it's a lot big and a lot more broader than that as well. And then a lot of these beings, not saying what we're talking about, there's some of these beings as well that they'll project that, and then they're actually something else.
Yes.
You know, so
yeah, screens,
light beings or whatever. Yeah, or they think we can't handle the truth.
As we're experiencing out there, out here at this mountain, it's so active. We'll talk about that in another video. But I wanted to say this and bring this out because by no means am I trying to offend anybody that is Caucasian or different than melanin dominant or black. I'm just saying this is an aspect that has to be acknowledged so that we all can start bringing this together in a galactic fashion, because that's what we're dealing with if we want to be part of the galactic society.
Yep.
So in that way, I appreciate everybody who's experiencer. I've met all types out here. We'll talk about that later. Run out of time. God bless. Thanks, Pete.
Cheers.